Hello, this is Jordan Visco from ClinicAid. Today I'm going to be doing a quick demonstration on two new features we've just released to ClinicAid that we hope will save you a lot of time and really speed up your billing. And the first one is a multi-date selector feature. So when you're creating invoices, you can create a line item with multiple dates. And the second one is being able to create patients with no names. Now, the second one only works in Ontario and Alberta because in British Columbia, MSP requires a name. But in Ontario and Alberta, you can now create patients without names in ClinicAid. And so I'm going to show you how these two things work. So first of all, with the multi-date selector, you can see here I'm in an Ontario account, so the line item and the codes that I'm going to be entering are Ontario codes, but rest assured that in the other provinces, you just enter the appropriate codes for your province and things will go just the same. So the first thing I'm going to do is select a patient. I'm going to go with John, Ontario, and I'm going to tab on over to the code box here. And in the code box, I'm just going to use something simple. And then I'm going to tab on over to the diagnostic codes. I'm going to go with 844 just to keep it simple. And then I'm going to tab into the date box. Now, if you were in the code box here and you just clicked enter, it would actually create an invoice for you or add the line item with that particular date. But now that we're in the date box, I can choose any date that I want. And there's this new little feature on this new date selector. You might notice it looks a little bit different than the old one, but there's a multi button. And if I select that multi button, I can then go through and I can collect as many dates as I'd like. So I've selected 4 dates here, and then I can click the close, or I can just click away. And in the date box here, you'll see now that there's actually a whole bunch of dates separated by commas. And that is a multi-date selection. So if I click add now, and I scroll down to the bottom of the bill here, you can see I actually have those 4 line items added to my bill, and I can click save. And I get a successfully added invoice for John, Ontario message. And then when I go to the manage invoices section, you can see it here. In Ontario, the different line items get saved to one bill. In British Columbia and Alberta, they get separated into different invoices just because of how invoice management works in those provinces. So that is a quick create for creating invoices with multiple dates. So another thing to notice is that with this new date picker, if I put my cursor in that box, it highlights the date picker. And on my keyboard now, I'm just going to hit the control key. And when I do that, you'll see multi here light up. And I can now, still holding down the control key, I can click as many dates as I'd like. And then as soon as I let go of the control key, it's actually going to select all those different dates there. So that's just another way of doing it. You can either select the multi button or you can hold down the control key. Another thing to note about this new date picker is that we use it on many different fields in ClinicAid. So if I go back to that Manage Invoices section and I click here, you'll see it's a very similar date picker. It doesn't have the multi-function because it doesn't make sense in this case, but you can set today's date or you can actually clear the dates. So if I click clear, it leaves a blank date, and if I click go, it's going to do a search from blank till February 17th. And so blank means from the beginning of time. And if I take this one here and I clear that one as well, what that tells ClinicAid is to look from the beginning of time to the end of time. So that's a cool new little feature that launched as well. Another thing to notice about this date picker here is that if you select a date field, on the top section where it says November 2015 here, if you click that, it'll actually give you an option to select a different month. And if you click then on this page, if you click the year, it'll give you an option to select a different year. So in this way, you can go backwards and forwards in time and select the year, the month, and the day that you want in order to select an appropriate search. And then again, click go in order to complete that search. So this same date picker function has been rolled out here. It's also on all your reports. So you can run any of these reports with cleared or with any date range that you want. So the second feature is the patients with no name. And again, this works in Alberta and Ontario, but when I'm creating an invoice here, I'm going to pretend that I have this patient's healthcare number, but I don't want to go through and create a full patient profile, so I'm not going to enter their name. So I have a test healthcare number here, so I'm going to go 82377 62516. And you can see it doesn't match any patients in the system. And then on my keyboard, I'm going to hit the tab, and I'm going to go to the quick create form. I'm just going to throw in a version code. I'm going to skip last name, first name, and I'm going to enter birth date. And I'll add a code and a diagnostic and save. So it says now successfully added an invoice for, and instead of a patient name, it actually gives their healthcare number. And it's actually created a patient in the system without a name. And if I now go to the Manage Invoices section, you can see here that I have this new invoice for this healthcare number, no patient name. And if I go to the Manage Patient section at this point, and I go to my second page here, you can see I have now a patient called Unnamed Patient, and here's their healthcare number right there. And if I copy that and paste it into the search function here, I can search for that patient, and they'll show up just unnamed patient. If I click on the patient, unnamed patient, you can see there, that's their name in the place of where their name would be. So that's kind of how that's viewed. And again, only in Alberta and Ontario, British Columbia, you can't create patients without names at this point. So those are the two newly launched features. If you have any questions or would like to send us any feedback, please feel free to do so by clicking on the Send Feedback button here, or you can click Get Help to generate a support ticket. As well, you can always go to the Contact Us page on our website, and you can contact us by mail, by phone, or by email. Thanks a lot, and we hope to hear from you.